Bro, what's going on, people? Welcome to Friday Night Gaming Podcast, episode 2. Let's get it. I'm your co-host, Trigun411. Hit me on Twitter at Trigun4848. Hit me on Twitch, /Trigun411. I'm going to introduce you to my co-host, Sai, who actually puts his jeans on 2 legs at a time. Sai, go and introduce yourself to the people.
Hey, man, it's a tough way to do it, but somebody's got to do it.
You special.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Scythex_, and on Twitch, twitch.tv/Scythex.
Hey, there you go. So, guys, we finally, all the people that have been wondering, all the questions, we appreciate it. Coming up with a name. So we came up with Friday Night Gaming Podcast because it's what we do. Me and Cy mulled over names for hours and hours and days and weeks, and we were like, yo, we need a name. So we finally came up with Friday Night Gaming Podcast, and the way we came up with it was, it's what we've been doing for the last 2-3 years. Every Friday night from like 9 p.m. till anywhere between 3 and 4 a.m., we rock out gaming with the fellas. Shout out to Sean, shout out to Tone, shout out to Pac, shout out to Sherm, shout out to Mav, shout out to Cantankerous. We game every Friday night, so you can catch us on PlayStation 4. We game, and that's basically how we came up with the name. So even though the podcast is on Saturday at 1, it's Friday Night Gaming, baby. Let's get it. All right, so we're gonna start off this week's episode, and every week we're gonna start off with This Week in Gaming, which gives you an idea of basically what Cy and I are playing and what we're getting into for the week of gaming. So I'm going to let Cy kick it off and tell you what he's been gaming on this week. Go ahead, Cy.
All right, to start, I started with South Park, The Fractured Butthole. This game,
let's get it.
This game is so much fun, man. If it wasn't for other things coming out, I would still be playing it, trying to beat it. It's an RPG type game, and the characters, the art of the game is identical to the TV show. So like it's like you're watching an episode of South Park, a really long episode of South Park, and it's just funny. The jokes are on point, the random ass scenes in the game.
Yo, that one scene you clip and sent to the fellas, man, I died, man. With the beads and the priest, bruh.
It was so damn funny. It caught me off guard. I couldn't stop laughing. I was in tears, man. It was so funny. And there's just more scenes like it. And I don't want to like spoil anything, but it's just fun. I need to get back to it. But doing a little bit more Fortnite. They just came out with the update for the Battle Royale 50 versus 50 teams. Which
that's crazy.
It's pretty intense. My only problem with it is I don't know who my teammates are until I hit the ground and until other players hit the ground. So I could be diving into a town that's full of the other team and just get annihilated from the start.
Yo, how does it work? Like, is it like a red and blue, or is it like
your teammates show up as green and then enemies you just don't see on the map?
Oh, I got you. Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, so like until somebody hits the ground, if they don't turn green, they're enemy.
You could land in a town with like 30 enemies.
Yes, exactly. And those crazy. 30 enemies don't have to fight each other anymore. They're just coming after you. So it's like
dead as hell.
You have no room for error. You just have to dip and try and find your team. And hopefully you have a gun,
Yeah, hell yeah. That sounds crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. But so that update's a lot of fun. Division just popped out 1.8 update. It's a free DLC. So anybody who has a Division can jump on year 2 DLCs. It's a lot of fun. I was messing around with it. There's a couple new missions that you can do. There's a lot more you can explore. They expanded the map, and you can now, if anyone's familiar with New York City, you can now go to the Intrepid, which is, you know, a museum now, but it's an old aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
And they added a horde mode. It's called Resistance. I want to do it with a group. I haven't been able to do it yet. I need to get a group together. I don't want to do it solo because it is a horde mode and it's just nonstop.
Yeah, that's frustrating as hell. You can't really
enemies. Yeah, nonstop enemies coming at you one. And what's cool about it is it's not like you're going up against, you know, just the cleaners or just Rikers. It's every faction of enemies in the game working together to kill you. So it's pretty intense, and I want to dive into it. But I mean, I want to get it like a good group together.
Hell yeah.
Also, Destiny 2 released The Curse of Osiris on Tuesday. And
Fire.
Yeah. So what was it? December 5th? Was that this Tuesday?
Yeah.
So yeah, that just dropped. It's a lot of fun. It brought me back to Destiny 2, and I'm really enjoying the grind again to, you know, increase my light, you know, get the new gear. They added, you know, a system where you can forge your own weapons by grinding materials and stuff like that, which is a unique aspect of the game that didn't exist even in Destiny 1. So that's fun. They released the new raid. It's called a Raid Lair. It's an extension off of the original raid ship, the Leviathan.
Damn.
It launched yesterday at 1 o'clock. We had a group ready. We dove into it. We're steamrolling this raid. We're like, oh, we have a chance at World's First. We're gonna get there, you know. And
damn,
we hit the boss fight, and it was a struggle bus central trying to figure this thing out. We had a player drop out because they had to go to work, and we had people on standby just in case.
Yo, that's OD. That's like an epic adventure. Like, for those who aren't familiar with raids, and me included, because I've never done one. Like, how long did it take you guys?
We started at roughly 1 o'clock when it launched. I don't think we completed it and left the raid until 7:30 p.m.
Bruh, that's a job, my guy.
It was work, man. It was definitely work.
That's a day's work for sure.
I had, my time was running out. I was like, I need to beat this, because if I have to leave and these guys beat it with me gone, I'm gonna be so pissed.
Hell yeah.
So the boss fight was a battle, learning the new mechanics, what you had to do, and then it was just about everyone just executing it, and it was a lot of fun. It was well made. It was cool. I'm having fun with it.
That's what's up. As far as I'm concerned, here's the deal. For those of you who think I'm a fraud because I never played any games of the year, I do play these games. I just play them. Yeah, I wish I had that up. Run the timer. Yo, for those who think I don't play games, I do play games heavily. I'm a hardcore gamer. I play games usually 2 years after they're released. Here's why. I'm cheap. I wait for the games to go on sale for like $29.99, $15 on PSN, Best Buy, GameStop deals. I wait. I get them late. In any event, I beat Infamous Second Son. So that's let me check my list that I wrote on cardboard. That's 13 games on a year. Holla at your boy. I know that's not crazy, but you know, for me, the whole family and a house and all that stuff I got going on, that's pretty damn good. 13 games on a year. Infamous Second Son was fire. The side missions got to be a little bit tedious, only because they're the same thing over and over again. You're basically clearing out an area, finding different agents, so on and so forth. The game was a lot of fun. The special abilities just was crazy. So I beat that. It wasn't too hard. As far as the length of it, it was probably about 15 hours, but I beat that. Very good game. Still, you know, fortunately and unfortunately, playing Fortnite. Fortnite is crazy still. I love it, but I haven't had an umbrella since I got an umbrella before. And when I, went into a closet for 2 weeks and got that umbrella, I haven't had one since. So we got to get this umbrella in duos, especially for my man Sean. So Fortnite is still fun. They're working on hit detection. Hopefully that gets better, and then we can, move forward and keep playing that, because that's a game that it reinvents itself, and that's why it's so popular, because literally it's a multiplayer. Every time you come into the game experience, it's an entirely different experience, or it can be, unless you
Right.
just die off rip, and then it's the same thing every time.
And I believe, I don't know if they fixed it already or they're working on fixing it, but they're making the bloom better. And if you don't know what bloom is, it's when your bullets spread apart when firing.
Yeah.
So you're very inaccurate with, accurate guns.
Hell yeah. So
that issue.
I definitely need that, because my bloom is like all over the place. But the last piece, so I beat Infamous playing Fortnite. I just started Uncharted 1. Now, for those Sony fanboys who are like, look at this fraud. Hey, fam, chill. I had Xbox 360, right? So I didn't have PS3, so I never got a chance to play Uncharted. So I just bought Nathan Drake Collection online. I think it was like $8 for 3 games. So I just bought that. Just started playing Uncharted 1. I'm liking it. Yeah, it's mad good deal. 3 games for $7.99, right up my alley, right? So just started playing Uncharted. The game is great. I know probably everyone listening probably already beat it, but I'm gaming on that, and it's a lot of fun, man. So I'm trying to beat 20 games before the year's over. I know that's a lofty goal, but you got to shoot for the moon, hit the stars, all that nonsense. I'm gonna try to beat at least 15, if not 20. So moving forward, last week, 3 weeks ago. So I guess we're gonna do our podcast every 3 weeks, apparently. And that was my bad, because we got schedules and stuff, and then whatever happens. So we're here now. That's all that matters. Game Awards recap. So we're gonna go right into it. Switch Gang, stand up, rep your set. Zelda Game of the Year. Might I add, confirmed by myself and Sai 3 weeks ago on our podcast. So we are clairvoyant. I'm sure no one else in the entire country or world.
The biggest upset in the gaming industry.
The biggest upset in the gaming industry of all time. So Zelda won Game of the Year. So all the Nintendo fanboys are rejoicing. I think they're having a party. They rented out the entire island of Manhattan and are having a party currently. They're still going. In any event, I want to read a quote from my brother, Bobby Sherm. He shared with us recently after, Zelda won Game of the Year. And I said, yo, you got to give your acceptance speech, fam. So this is what they did. Let me read a quote from Sherm. I never once doubted that Breath of the Wild would take home the gold. I will not stoop to the level of the elitist and rub it in the faces of the naysayers. However, I will reiterate that a game with such beauty, grace, and magnificence stands out amongst the alternatives and shines light on an otherwise darkened landscape. I invite you all to order a Nintendo Switch and relish in the enjoyment I experience every time I power it up and embark on my adventure as Link, as I promise you will not be regretful. Get lost in the woods and soar through the skies. Allow the sounds of the music to excite your soul and let the landscape captivate your mind. Step into a journey that will not only change your criteria for what makes a game great, but proves that a game can live on for decades through each of us. The hero of time lives on. Bruh. Hold on, I need a minute. Fam. Nah, but shout out to Sherm, yo. That shit poetic, bro. That shit like hashtag Robert Frost, bro. Like that shit was so poetic.
I almost ran to the store and bought a Switch with Zelda.
Yo, for real.
That quote was intense.
Yo, it really was. And yo, shout out to Sherm. He's really the man. He's been championing Zelda since him and Pac since forever. And so it's a really good game. And shout out to multiplayer game of the year. Jeff Keighley, you might want to include that in next year's show.
Yeah, for real.
So that they don't get snubbed. So
it's a very popular category, and they're just like, nah, fam, we're not playing it. Yeah. We're not letting you guys know.
Yeah, like especially with all these multiplayer heads out. Shout out to Tone. PUBG. So PUBG won multiplayer game of the year. I feel like, Sai, what do you think? Like, I feel like it was kind of a no-brainer.
It had to have been that or Fortnite.
Yeah.
Those are the only 2 games that everyone, and I mean everyone, is playing.
Yeah.
If you're not playing PUBG, you're playing Fortnite, or you're playing both. So it's It had to have been one of them.
Yeah, no, I figured it would be either
I'm not
or.
surprised.
But I think PUBG, as far as the base, I think Fortnite has, I think 10 million sold. I think PUBG has like 30 million sold. So I mean, PUBG just been around a little bit longer, so it's a little bit more popular, and it's all over the place. So I figured,
they just released a new map after the award show too.
Oh, that is true. That is true. They did release that map, and most anticipated game of the year. This is really no contest. Last of the year. Last of the year. Last of the year.
Last of Us 2, man. That game, I can't wait for it. It's unbelievable, and I can't see any other game winning that category.
Yeah. No, I really think it's going to be great. Like, again, I haven't played Last of Us 1. I watched 30 hours of gameplay, and it was unbelievable. So I think that'll be great for most anticipated game. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I have Last of Us 1 on the digital download, and I'm looking to play that as soon as I can. So we're actually going to move on to our next segment in the show, and it's called What's on Your Mind. So if you guys have anything that's on your mind in the gaming industry, whether it be gaming, whether it be not gaming, whatever it is, tell us what's on your mind. So we're going to talk about what's on our mind, and then you guys can leave comments on the video below and let us know, what's on your mind as far as gaming and what have you is concerned. So I'm going to let Cy take it away. And Cy, go ahead and tell us what's on your mind, player.
All right. Well, first, with Destiny, I'm having a lot of fun with the game. I'm having a lot of fun with the new missions and the raid and whatnot. The game, they have a weapon that's broken, and it just slays people in PvP. And instead of canceling trials, they let you buy the weapon. So basically, the Crucible is just laser tag at the moment because it's like a ray beam gun. So everyone has the same gun, and they're just like lasering each other, and it's out of control. But to my point of Destiny is, will the game bring me back once I reach max light? That was the problem with the vanilla game. Like, as soon as I hit 305, you're just basically going through emotions at that point, and there was nothing really bringing me back. So I'm curious what back after this up.
My bad.
Yeah, what the hell was that?
No, my bad. I just dropped something. Go ahead. My fault.
What's the name? So yeah, will Destiny bring me back? I hope it keeps me entertained until we get more updates and more expansions.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So we were talking a little bit about the Game Awards last night, and one of the winners, in I believe it was Best Narrative.
Yeah. Actually, Best Narrative. Actually,
Best Narrative, and the winner was Edith and Finch.
Yeah, what remains of Edith Finch?
Yeah.
Put some respect on that thing, sir.
So Try jumps the gun and just purchases this game. He's like, "Oh, it's got to be good,"
Bro, it has to be.
I had no idea about the game, and I don't know anything about it. So I'm on PSN store while he's telling me he just bought it, and I watched a trailer. And like the trailer is just about like you being a cat in a tree, you're flying a kite, and then you're taking a bubble bath with rubber duckies. And I'm like, what did this game do? What did this guy just buy, man? This shit had me dying. It had me dying.
Yo, here's the thing, right? So, Best Narrative, What Remains of Edith Finch. I heard some people talk about it on Twitter. I heard some other podcasts, talk about it. And I'm like, yo, Best Narrative game got to be fire. And so I'm playing my game. I'm talking to Cy. He's like, fam, they got rubber duckies. I'm like, yo, dog, what, man? I'm like, you playing, right? He's like, nah, man, there's rubber duckies, and you flying the kite. And he's like, you're a cat. I'm like, fam, I'm a cat? I'm like, bruh, nah. I'm like, yo, how do I return this joint? So I actually I actually went ahead and looked at the trailer, and
you bought a bubble bath simulator, man.
Like,
it's so stupid.
Yo, that's the new wave. Yo, shout out to all the people on the BBS bubble bath simulator. But here's the thing. Like I just got the game off the notoriety, like narrative of the year. It looks not to defend it, but I'm gonna because I bought it for $15.
People like what they like. It won an award, so it's got to be good in some aspects. But it was just funny. It's funny to me that like you jumped the gun without like even
hell yeah
to it. I'm watching this trailer. I'm like, yo, bro, you're taking a bubble bath in the game.
Now, I'm a single player head. I love narratives. And so best narrative of the year, I'm like, yo, I put my trust in humanity. And I'm like, yo, I got to get narrative of the year because I love games like Life is Strange and, Heavy Rain, all those kind of things. So I'm like, I got to get it. So I get it. And then I didn't realize it was a bubble bath simulator. But even still, the premise, I'm trolling. But the plot of the game is, not to ruin anything, but I mean, you can read this online. It tells you, in the description of the game, the girl is the only one left alive in her family, and like everyone else died. So I'm like, yo, that sounds interesting. So hey, I'm gonna stream it, I'm gonna play it, and it's going. If it ends up being a BBS, I'll be like, yo, Bubble Bath Simulator 2017, fam, we out. Did you want to touch on Horizon?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So Horizon was up for multiple awards, and they didn't win one single award, and it aggravates the crap out of me.
You mean Horizon Zero Awards, my guy?
Yeah. Hot take, but yeah, the game irritates me. That the game didn't win one award because it's graphically beautiful, the story was on point, and the character was likable, and it was just a fun game to play. And it was up for Game of the Year. I personally wanted it to be Game of the Year. I knew Zelda was going to win. They win. I'm not salty about it. But for Horizon not to win any of the other categories, that irritated me. So
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like they deserved more accolades and recognition for the game itself.
Yeah,
it's a fantastic game.
Yeah, and like I said, I got it. It's on my Amazon wish list. I'll definitely play it sometime before 2025. The thing about it is, I think what hurt it, and I haven't heard people mention this on Twitter and different things like that. And when me and Sai talked about it last night, Horizon came out in February, March, whatever it was. I think it was March. People, especially in the gaming industry, people in general, short attention spans, like lack of attention is what is highlighted throughout humanity right now. Like,
I would agree with that, but them dropping the DLC in November? Not November. When was that? October,
possibly? Yeah, I think it was October. Yeah.
That puts the game back in everyone's mind.
Yeah. No. Well, see, that's the thing.
Because it was a fantastic DLC, and everyone that I know that has played Horizon was playing the DLC. So,
see, but I think, see, I would argue that the game's base, the people who all played it in March, here's the problem: the DLC drops in October. Think about the gaming industry. Almost all the games come out in the fall season. So, like, now you got people with Destiny 2 came out in September. You got Assassin's Creed Origin. Like, you got mad games coming out in the fall. So for people, even people who loved Horizon, to go back and play the DLC, they might not have even had the time because they're playing other games. And also, half the people who played Horizon aren't going to play the DLC just because they're playing other things. So I think it did give it a bump in popularity, but I think it paled in comparison to the popularity of Zelda. Dog, like, Zelda was talked about every single day since its release. And I feel like we talked about, is Zelda the greatest game ever made, or is it great because it's Zelda? Yeah. And I think that
it's a fine line, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that
they are great games.
Yeah.
But does your fandom mask its flaws, if there are any?
That's a great point. So do we just excuse the frame rate and the resolution because of the gameplay, or because of the fun, and because of the Zelda was in our hearts from when we played it back in the late 80s, early 90s, mid-90s, so all throughout, in the N64, so all that stuff. So, and I'm not saying that Zelda won Game of the Year because of notoriety. I don't think it did. I think from what I saw and what I understand from my people telling me, it was a masterfully done game. So props to Zelda, hands down. But I also think that people who love Zelda are not willing to be objective and say, you know what, there was some nostalgia involved. And I don't think that's wrong of me to say that. There was some nostalgia involved. Granted, standalone, it was a great game. But if it was called Peter Saves the Princess, would it have received such admiration and love? Who knows? It may still have. I don't know the answers to these things. Anyway, moving on. What's on my mind? This is not really to talk about. I just have a question for the people, the community. So you can comment on this in the comment section. Do gamers really dictate the gaming industry, or do devs and publishers give us what we want before we know what we want? And I think gamers are very fickle in the fact of, we want new IPs, but then they come out and we don't support them. But then we complain about a Call of Duty every year. We complain about a Madden every year, and then we go ahead and buy it every year. And it's almost like, and including me, I'm one of those. I'm part of the problem, right? Because I bought Madden 18. I'm looking at 4 Maddens, 18, 17, 16, 15, all trash, confirmed. Do we really dictate, or is it the devs dictating, or who really drives the industry forward? Because I feel like, gamers aren't sure of what they want. Devs are scared to develop new IPs. So it's almost like, you go. No, you go. Well, I want to go, but I want you to go. Like it's
right.
Who
they're waiting. They're waiting for someone to make a game that's going to hit with the gamers, and then they're going to feed off that idea and make it their own.
Basically. Exactly. I think that's exactly right. Like look at Battle Royale, right? Like now there's Battle Royale. They talk about GTA. They talked about COD. COD's coming up with an update with a battle. So like now Battle Royale, like a couple of years ago,
a COD Battle Royale is going to be out of control. Like I don't even know what that's going to be like.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. But that'll be that. And you guys, like I said, you guys can leave a comment down there in the section or what have you. But our next segment, and this is going to be our last segment for the week for this podcast, we're going to talk about gaming news this week. So, we have the Game Awards, which we already kind of touched upon. Oh, by the way,
I know where you're going with this.
By the way, damn, what is this man's name? Hold on, let me see.
Shout out to my boy.
By the way, shout out to France, bruh. Because shout out to France. Whatever you guys are putting in your water, fam.
I need to look this guy's name up.
Yeah, I'm trying to look him up right now. I think I favorited. I think I favorited a tweet from him. Where is this man at? Let me see.
This guy was Joseph Ferris.
Yeah, shout out to that guy, bro. That man literally came on the Game Awards off top talking about F the Oscars, bro. He was on one. Like Jeff Keighley was trying to, keep him level headed, but he was just going off, man. And he was like, he's like, yeah, EA, sometimes publishers F up. And I was like, oh God, bro. Like
this dude went off for 5 minutes.
He really did during the Game Awards.
The host couldn't get him off the stage. He's like, nah, man, I'm still going. he's like, F this, F that.
Yo, they were trying to cut to commercials. He's cursing up a storm, like F this. He's like, oh, hold on, my bad. Are we on TV? He's like, nah, we're on the internet. He's like, all right, then F it, let's get it. I'm like, dog, oh my, this dude was going crazy. He's like, I'm passionate.
He
like,
gives the camera the finger. And he's like, yo, fuck you, Oscars.
Yeah. He's like, F the Oscars, and then he's like
the EA loot box is shit.
Yeah, he's like EA's trash. All right, now we're gonna go to my trailer. And then trailer pops
brought to you by EA.
Brought to you by EA. Like, fam, what? Like,
trash EA for like 3 minutes straight, and then world premieres his EA trailer.
Yeah,
like,
if you
I didn't even know what was going on. This guy was
it was so epic. If you guys have the chance, hit YouTube, hit Twitter, look up Joseph Fares, the guy. And his game is called. Is it called?
Was it some like Way Out or something?
No way out. I think
No Way Out. Yeah.
No Way Out. I think it's a cooperative game. Where you play. You're basically two prisoners. One character is aggressive, one character is thoughtful. So, and the aggressive. Funny thing is, the aggressive character looks like that French dude. So, he's wild now. Shout out to France. Shout out to that guy.
Shout out to Joseph, dude.
For real,
man.
For real, when you were savage.
Went off. He went off.
He really did.
One more thing. Hold on. One more thing with the Game Awards.
Yeah.
I don't know if you caught it, but I forget who it was. One of the presenters, I forget for what category, goes, before I announce the winner, I just need to pull out my credit card and purchase this microtransaction to be able to open up the envelope.
Yes.
I was like, my God, they're just ripping EA apart and microtransactions.
Yeah, they killed EA. With that for sure. Real quick, and I know this is kind of off tangent. I want to give a shout out to Milena Juergens. She basically won Best Performance as in Hellblade. She played the main character. I think it's Sensuous Hellblade. She played the main character. This woman, Milena Juergens, I'm probably killing her name, but I apologize about that. She won basically Best Actress. The funny part is, she's not even an actress, fam. She's a video editor. She was editing video and doing some motion capture for the game, and they were just like, I guess she was doing such a good job. They were like, you're going to play the main character. And she was like, okay. So she basically went from video editing to being a main character in a title, and going from that to winning best actor, actress in a game. So shout out to her. That's actually unbelievable. That's like a dream come true. I just had to shout out to her,
man. It's a great accomplishment.
She really killed it. Again, moving back to our last segment, gaming news this week. So we had a Game Awards on Thursday. Okay. Then I went into Friday night. I knew PSX was coming on. I didn't know what time. I popped in the Gamer 2323 stream. Shout out to him. And I started watching PSX, fam. Now, here's the thing.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
Let me tell you about PSX, right? You expect from PlayStation, you expect popping, orchestra, smoke, gunfire, mad games being shown. Nobody's talking. Yo, I turned on PSX last night, dog. I'm like, bruh. I'm like, it was a mix between Dr. Phil and like Oprah, fam. They brought out 10 to 15 people on stage and talked for 3 hours. I was like, oh hell, like, dude, they came out on stage for the first legit 11 minutes, because I timed it. They talked about games. They talked about games that were upcoming. They talked about what this and that was going to look like. And I'm thinking to myself, dog, this is trash, my guy. Like, I was falling asleep. I'm like, yo, you really going to do a games conference and talk the entire time? Yo, they finally started showing some God of War 4 stuff. They showed like 2 minutes of it and then went back to talking. Then they brought some old lady out on stage. She was talking about something. And then they just kept bringing people on stage. I'm like, fam, like, what's going on right now? Like, people on Twitter were destroying the Game Awards. People were like, yo,
PlayStation experience.
Yeah, the PlayStation experience. My bad. People were killing PSX online. And I was like, yo, this PSX is about to make me buy Xbox One facts. Like, what are y'all doing? Like, I mean, I'm trolling, but like, it was really bad. The only piece of that event that I actually enjoyed was them showing my game of the year whenever the game comes out, Detroit Become Human. That game again,
I can't wait for that game.
Yo, I can't wait. I love, Mass Effect style decision making. Your decisions actually matter, almost like an Until Dawn type joint with like the butterfly effect. Like every decision you make in that game matters, and like the game just looks fire to me, and the graphics are unbelievable. And I can't wait to play that one. So PSX, I think today's day 2.
You were telling me which game did they show like the gameplay of?
They showed gameplay of Detroit Become Human.
Oh, they did that game. Like,
yeah, that guy,
the missions and stuff. Like,
the developer came on stage and he basically played the initial mission. You had to investigate a certain area, and you could like recreate it based upon the technology that they had. You can make decisions, find clues, and it like reenacted the scene, and then you were able to locate the perpetrator or the criminal, and then he was standing on a roof with a young girl in his hand with a gun to her head, and you had to go through like a series of different decision-making things where you would kind of decide to escalate or de-escalate.
And you were saying that they were making the audience. He was asking the audience what.
Yeah, they were asking. This is the bugged out thing, right? They were asking the audience, right, what to pick, and the guy. Sometimes he was picking what they said. It was all like a mosh. Like when you ask an audience to pick an answer and everybody's screaming, you can't really hear anything. So he was basically picking random answers. But this is the thing that killed me, right? So if you think about people, think about gamers, at the end of the scene, dude couldn't talk the dude down, and they were like, this audience started screaming, use the gun, and then at the end you could intimidate or kill. They were like, kill. I'm like, and then he shot the dude in the head. Audience stands up like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, bro. I'm like, what's wrong with these people, man? But I mean, it was kind of fire low key. But yeah, it was a good showing of that game. And that's, I can't even honestly.
I need to rewatch that or actually watch it because I didn't watch it the first time. Because I'm very interested in that game, and I'd like.
Yeah, me too. Definitely watch that. And other than that, they showed some indies. It was so boring. I started playing Uncharted while I was watching it. Like I don't even know what else they showed because I couldn't. It didn't sustain my attention. Like I couldn't do it. So moving on. Going back to like the Game Awards. So Sai, I know that's your boy. If you want to talk about Dr. D.
Dr. Disrespect wins Trending Gamer Award for the year. This guy is just he's a beast, man. He's just constantly, he won a couple weeks ago the Streamer of the Year. Now he has a Trending Gamer of the Year. This guy just keeps blowing up, and I don't know. I don't know what to say. He's a beast. The guy's entertaining. He's doing his thing, and he's getting the credit for it. So shout out to Dr. Disrespect.
Yeah, the
two-time.
He's and like you said, Streamer of the Year, now Trending Gamer Award. I feel like he's just going up and up.
Blowing up.
And so Twitch and Twitch news. You kind of rock the Twitch news every week. So tell us about what they're doing for subs.
Yeah, I don't really have too much new stuff to announce with Twitch, but they are running a promotion where you can get 20% off of your subscriptions to any streamer you like, and you can also gift subscriptions to any friends that might want to sub to a channel that doesn't have the money for it. It's also 20% off, so that it's pretty cool. I think it's a neat little thing that they're doing. I think it's just for the holiday season.
Yeah, that's what's up. And shout out to you, Sai, for hooking me up last night. Gamer came through, hooked up a gift to my man a sub. So appreciate that. So
yeah, man.
That's basically gaming news for the week. Every week we're gonna try to have similar categories in the podcast. And we're about at the end of the podcast. So we'll go into the outro. So I'll just go first.
Before we end, I just have a question for anybody listening, and they can leave their answer in the comments, because I would like to go back to the answers at the beginning of the next podcast and kind of just see what people say. But if The Last of Us 2 dropped this year compared to next year, would it win Game of the Year? Because everyone is saying it's going to win Game of the Year. And I don't see why it wouldn't, to be honest. It's the most anticipated game. It did win that award. People want this game. They've been waiting for the sequel. But would it win Game of the Year if it dropped this year with Zelda being out? And that's what I would like to know. And I'm curious of your answers.
Yeah, that's actually a great question. So would Last of Us win, the Game of the Year? So Last of Us 2. I'm looking out because I was just looking real quick. Last of Us, did it win Game of the Year when it came out? Because I'm seeing that at the Game Developers Choice Awards, Last of Us won Game of the Year back in 2013. And so it really, to me, it was really, just watching the playthrough, it was really a cult classic. And anybody I talked to, anyone that's played Last of Us is like, game was a 10, like hands down. It wasn't a perfect game, but they were like, game is a 10. And so Last of Us 2, in my mind, is going to be a beast. And I can't, if it had come out this year, I would have loved to have seen that, because would it have, like you said, it
would be a good showdown.
Because it's two heavy hitters. I mean, the way people, it's funny because the way people talk about Last of Us and the way people talk about Zelda is very similar. Like when you talk to people, like legit, like I'm not even exaggerating, like the look in their eyes changes. Like when they talk about Zelda, I mean, Bobby Sherm hit us with one of the most poetic speeches I've ever seen, talking about Zelda. And people, when they talk about Last of Us, it's like their eyes just light up, man, and it's crazy. So that would be a great question. Would it have been able to take down, the giant that is Zelda? So that's a great question. So make sure leave your comments in the comment section for sure. And listen, we had views on the last podcast. Do not be afraid to comment. Shout out your comments. Let us know what's on your mind, because we're here for the people.
We want to hear from you. We're curious of your thoughts, and we want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know for sure. So we're gonna do our outros. Just hit you with our Twitch and Twitter again, and any last thoughts or comments. Side, you want to jump on there? You want me to?
Yeah, just quickly. You can find me at Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at Scythex_, and on Twitch, twitch.tv/Scythex. And I would just, if you have any answers to these questions, or if you have any thoughts,
hell yeah,
just drop them. Feel free. You can hit me up on the Twitter as well if you want.
And follow that man on Twitch, bro. He's almost at 300, my guy.
We getting there, my fan.
Man, guy. Anyway, yeah. So my outro again. This is your boy Trigun411.
The Bubble Bath Dominator.
B, they call me BBT, the Bubble Bath. Hey, we stupid. All right. Twitter, catch me on Twitter at Bubble Bath. No, damn. All right. Catch me on Twitter at Trigun4848. Hit me on Twitter. Hit me up. Any questions? If you want topics discussed for the next week's podcast, what have you, whatever it is, comment, whatever it is. Catch me on Twitch /Trigun411. I'm 10 followers away from having 10 followers. So make sure you hit me up on Twitch, and that'll be good. Anyway, Friday Night Podcast, episode 2.
Friday Night Gaming Podcast.
Friday Night Gaming Podcast, episode 2.
Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah. Oh, let me. We have here Friday Night Podcast, episode 2. It's your boy Trigun and your co-host
Scythex.
Hey, there we go.
Hey, where's my
bad.
Thank you.
All right, yo, thanks everybody for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Hit us up on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, all that good stuff.
Do the things, man. Do all the things.
Do the damn things. And yeah, make sure you pick up that Edith Finch fire. And we'll catch you guys next week. All right.
Peace.
All right, we out.